Hello everybody, today is going to be a Will I Buy It video. I do these videos on my channel pretty regularly every single Sunday. Last week I didn't do one. I know. I just have been terrible with YouTube recently. I have been trying to be consistent so far this year and it has not been working out whatsoever. If you don't want to hear me rant about my own lack of consistency, then I'll put a timestamp on the screen so you can skip ahead. But for those of you who are interested in hearing about my own tale of woe, I don't know, I didn't necessarily, I feel like this year so far, weirdly enough, has been like this just like sort of weird year. I would say that I'm like in a better headspace than I was last year, to say the least, but at the same time there's just so much going on. Like I feel like this past year I've changed so much, and like as a result I've had so many new priorities and like new things arise in my life, and it's kind of like my YouTube channel has sort of been like placed on the back burner, rightly so. I think it's about time that I like focus on like things that are actually like, really giving me like tangible success. Not to say that YouTube isn't, but at the same time, I mean, like, if I have to choose between working like an extra shift and filming YouTube videos and editing them, I should be choosing the working option, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. Plus, I just found a new job and I'm trying to find another job as well as working on my own photography stuff. So yeah, it's been a lot. I've been doing a lot of stuff. And then last week I was in Houston, so yeah, it's been a lot. And I just feel like I need to explain myself because I have not been as consistent on YouTube as I want to be. And I feel like I need to explain myself to you who are watching because I keep saying that I want to do this and this and this, but like I don't seem to be following through with that, and it's not through lack of desire. It's just I need to reframe my priorities, and I'm just working on myself a little bit as well. So I hope you understand. I mean, I know you do because I know that you are also hardworking. You are also somebody who has priorities, who has goals, who has a life, who has things to do. So I know you understand. But with that being said, let's just scooch on over here so we can get talking about these new makeup releases. First launch that I want to talk about is from Menagerie Cosmetics. This is called the Pastel Pop Palette, and it'll be launching on the 21st for $36. The palette supposedly is going to have all the essentials that you need to create different eye looks for spring, including a smoky pastel look or a sugary sweet look, and clearly it is meant to do just that. You have a lot of like deeper tones such as the black, but you also have a whole bunch of really light and flowery pastel colors as well. I personally, if I wasn't strapped for cash, I probably would get this palette because this is honestly a beautiful palette and it's almost $36. It's really not a bad price, but full disclosure right here, I just do not have extra money right now. Like usually I don't have extra money, but right now, even more so than ever, I do not have extra money. Ugh. So yeah, I don't think I'll be getting this anytime soon, but I would love to. Like I would love to if I could, but like honestly, like I can't. Also, another thing that they have in this palette that's super fascinating is a tri-foil shadow as well. Apparently this has like a lot of like just shifts to it, like blue, purple, and pink. I saw like the swatch video. You can see it on Menagerie's Instagram, and I was like just absolutely smitten with this. Like this just makes the palette look so much more desirable to me, in my opinion. But along with this palette, they are going to be launching some other products as well, including, let me pull this up. These trefoil shadows that are going to be launching with the palette for $6 each. And here are the swatches. These are absolutely beautiful. I feel like if you don't necessarily want to drop the cash for the palette, this might be a good alternative to getting some like really unique pastel inspired shades. However, if I was gonna like just go for the palette or go for these shades, I'd probably go for the palette and just like pop in a few of these shades as well in the same order, just for convenience sakes. But yeah, I wish I could get this. I really do, but I just can't. Moving on though, let's talk about this other indie launch from this brand, which is called M Cosmetics. This is a flower garden palette, and it looks really pretty. I will say this, it looks pretty, but do I want it? No. And I was kind of trying to figure out like what exactly about this palette I did not like, because like really objectively this palette looks really cool and interesting. It has a garden theme. I love gardens. I wanted to be a fairy when I was little, so clearly I love gardens. But like seriously, I think it's really pretty. But do I want to get it? No. And honestly, it's probably because the colors are not inspiring to me. And don't get me wrong, I love a good green smoky eye. I've been doing that all the time. I have a variation of it on my eyes right now. I'm in love. But for some reason, I'm just not into this palette, and that's okay. So this is going to be not bought by me. There's also another indie brand called Lunar Skies Cosmetics. They're launching the Amethyst Moon palette, and this is like a 9 pan palette filled with like just like purpley tones with like a little bit of pink in there as well. Again, not necessarily interesting to me. I don't know why. I feel like at some point I was kind of like trying to make myself like super interested in purples, and I guess I was for a very long time, or for a certain period of time, very interested in purples. But like right now I'm kind of playing with the green shadows and like the green and the blue shadows that I already have. That's kind of what I've been obsessed about. So this, not so much. The same brand is launching the Descendant palette, which is going to be available for $42. Now the packaging does look a little bit more interesting than the palette inside. This is a very neutral palette. It's in the shape of a coffin. I don't know, it's kind of Halloweeny when like it's not Halloween. I don't know. Um, I'm just not no, I don't really want it. It's not too interesting to me. Let's start talking about some mainstream brands to spice things up a little bit. Revlon is collaborating with Ashley Graham to basically release this tropical pop kit that will include some lip products, an eye and face palette, and I think a highlighter. So honestly, I saw this and I thought it was BH Cosmetics. I truly thought it was a BH Cosmetics palette, like that palette full of neutrals with like that pop of blue that they came out with like ages ago that I really didn't like. I thought it was that. Maybe they copied it, I have no idea. But see, the thing is, objectively, I love Ashley Graham. I watch her podcast constantly whenever I want motivation from beautiful, amazing, talented women. I love her podcast. It's wonderful. And I like her a lot. But do I like her approach to makeup? No, because if this is what she comes out with, I'm just not interested whatsoever. Like, this is just boring to me. And honestly, I don't look at Ashley Graham and think makeup. She does a lot with Revlon, so like I think it's pretty understandable that she's gonna collaborate with them at some point. But at the same time, Ashley Graham is not someone who strikes me as super interested in makeup because she just isn't like a makeup person, in my personal opinion. So, moving on though, ColourPop has had a lot of new releases this past week. One of them is the Making Moths collection, which will include an eyeshadow palette, a Super Shock Shadow Duo, 2 pressed powder blushes, and some luxe glosses. Now, I'm not sure when my redesign of this palette will be coming up, but it is gonna be going up. Either it would have already been uploaded either yesterday or it's going to get uploaded sometime this week, but I already filmed it and I already have my thoughts. Basically, my thoughts about this palette are it's just a little bit boring. It's very similar to what ColourPop has been doing previously. I really feel like ColourPop right now is segueing into like this like habit of like just coming out with like very neutral like palettes, but the trouble is they're coming out with palettes that look so very similar to the palettes that they've already launched, which is just gonna happen when you've been launching so many palettes over and over again. So I feel like this is just that right there. The packaging looks so beautiful and so like interesting and so amazing, but the palette inside is just so boring. And I mean, every other like item in this collection, I mean, like, it's all decent. The blushes look so like, I mean, the blushes look kind of boring. I mean, I don't think a lot of different people could wear these blushes. Like, they're so uniform. Um, but the eyeshadow palette was like the biggest disappointment for me, so that's why I did a redesign, and I like my redesign a lot better than whatever this is. But they have also come out with a Mulan and Disney collection. So honestly, I feel like I could go on an entire rant about how irritating the Mulan movie is. I don't think I'll even see it because of how much they've already changed within the movie that I'm not comfortable with. I don't want to talk about it. But this is basically the collection that they're doing to celebrate, or to rather promote, the launch of this movie. This collection will include an eyeshadow palette for $22, a Luxe Velvet Liquid Lipstick in Strong Chi for $9, a Luxe Cream Lipstick in Hua Mulan, I cannot speak any language besides the ones I already speak, thank you very much, for $9, a Luxe Gloss in Phoenix for $9, and a lip bundle for $25, two blushes for $10, and a face and lip bundle for $16. I don't know, I'm kind of like toying around with the idea of like maybe doing a redesign on this palette as well, because I mean, while the aesthetics of the collection is absolutely stunning and it all looks so beautiful and the names are so very well thought out apparently, and like everything is done very well thought out, I think, in keeping with like what we know of the original Mulan movie and hopefully what they're doing with the new version. I just feel like it's kind of a boring collection though. I feel like this happens a lot whenever you have like such an iconic movie, and whenever you have like someone trying to dial it down to like a very specific makeup collection that will be appealing to everybody, that will sell well, that hopefully will be a collector's item. It's kind of a lot, and it's very difficult, I think, to do it right. Urban Decay with Game of Thrones, that was a terrible example of what a collection could be when it is inspired by what's on the screen. And I don't really have like a strong opinion about this collection either. I love the packaging and I love the names and aesthetics of it, but at the same time, the actual meat of the collection is just boring to me. But then again, I feel like the people who are going to be buying this are the people that are super interested in the movie, who are like really just feel attached to the original version and want to see what they can do like to just support the new version. I feel like those are the kind of people that are going to buy. I feel like those are the kind of people that are going to be buying this collection. I'm not one of those people because I do not subscribe to nostalgia and I have no money to spend on makeup right now, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would go wild. Fenty Beauty is launching some new cheek products. They have some blushes and bronzers, and here are the swatches. I think it's pretty clear that a purple blush is very out there, and I am living for it. Fenty is just one of the brands that manages to encapsulate some sort of like trend setting, also with what people seem to really, really want, but not necessarily know that they want. And I feel like Rihanna just does this masterfully, and it's not like she's doing like anything like particularly new, but she is using her platform and her um very powerful visibility to just make waves and changes in the beauty industry that not a lot of other brands at that caliber are doing right now. So I like this, I like this launch so far. I like what they've done. The bronzers look beautiful. I like the range of shades. The blushes look really interesting, even for me as somebody who doesn't necessarily go for blushes. I'm relatively intrigued. So I like this. I think this is cool. These are going to be cream products. I'm not sure if I said that already or not, but they're going to be $20 each. I don't think I'm going to be getting them, but I can appreciate a good collection when I see one, or at least a seemingly good collection when I see one. Moving on though, Melt Cosmetics is coming out with their Rust palette. Yes, this is based on their Rust stack, which if you are an OG Melt fan, you probably have already heard about the Rust stack. That was an iconic piece of makeup back in the day. They are coming out with a Rust palette. Honestly though, I can see this palette as being a very successful palette. It's really pretty, but I feel like in so many other makeup releases that this palette has been released at the wrong time. I feel like if it had been released like a few years ago when the Melt stack was still like at the height of its, I would say, desirability, it would be like a much more anticipated release. I'm not saying that this is not going to be an anticipated release. I feel like a lot of people would really enjoy this. But at the same time, I'm not looking at this release as being something that's so beautiful and something that's so amazing and so unusual. Because right now, my expectations for Melt are very different than what they were years ago. I look at Melt as a different company, and while I do appreciate them looking towards what they were successful with in the past as an inspiration for what they want to do with their brand in the future, I still want them to be innovative. I still want them to come out with new and interesting color schemes, not necessarily regurgitate what they've already done before. Oh yes, and I also would like to talk about these Sephora sets that they have revealed for spring and summer 2020. I feel like they'll be revealing a lot more of these sets, but they do have value sets come out every now and then. I, for one, really recommend giving them a little bit of a look because that's actually where I get a lot of my makeup from value sets at Sephora. I rarely go in anymore and actually get something just without a set because I want to get that value for my money. And if so long as you like a majority of the products that are in the set, or so long as you're interested in trying them, it's going to be a good value for your money. So it's all about like looking around and seeing what sets work for you. So, with that being said, they have 3 sets that they are announcing so far. They have a fresh squeezed set that will include a whole bunch of skincare related items, including some primers and a full size of their Milk Makeup Watermelon face mask and Sephora Lychee face mask and lip scrub. Then they also have a poolside party set that will include a full size of the Sephora lipstick in spring break and a full-size Tarte mascara. And this basically has like a whole bunch of like glowy makeup products and like just, I guess summer and spring related makeup products in that set. And then they also have a sun safety kit that will include 14 items with 1 full-size items as well. And then they also have, I forgot to mention this earlier, a deluxe perfume sampler set that you can buy, and you can try 8 deluxe perfumes, and then you choose your favorite from that set and you can exchange it for a full-size bottle of that perfume, which is actually a really great gift. I have recommended that as a gift before to one of my friends. It was for their mom and they really enjoyed it. So yeah, I mean, this is a really good option for you if you are like me and you don't necessarily want to spend that much money on makeup, but you want to have a lot of it, or you want to have a good variety. Because I have a lot of minis and I don't go through them that easily because, I mean, you get a lot of product in those things. So yeah, this might be a good option. I, for one, am kind of interested in the sun safety set because I need to work on my skincare regimen when it comes to SPF, let's just say that. But yeah, there are a lot of good options in these sets, especially if you find them appealing. However, I do want to say that if you don't necessarily look at these sets and think that you like them, don't go for them because then it'll be a waste of your money anyway. But those are all the products I wanted to talk about today. There was quite a bit to talk about, and I'm quite out of practice when it comes to filming since I haven't filmed in what seems like a very long while. But thank you so much for watching until the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it interesting, and I'll see you when I see you. That's just how it's gonna be, I guess. Bye.